Today I'm making a recipe I've never made before by Dr. Mary Martin, who has a blog called Animal Person. And she had a recipe for coconut cream pie. Alright, what you don't normally see in coconut cream pie is 2 ripe avocados. And that's going to make it green. Somewhat, at least. And I think it's kind of interesting, and I love the taste of avocados. It's so rich. It's not a low-fat recipe by any stretch of the imagination, because not only do we have the avocados, but we also have shredded coconut and coconut milk, which in my case was almost like coconut cream. It was really thick, and I had to blend it up. We also have some arrowroot and some agave nectar, and that's almond extract right there. What we're going to do is blend all of this together, and I'm going to put it aside, and then I'm going to make the crust for this pie, which is really like a really lovely macaroon. I used my immersion blender to blend, well actually to puree all those ingredients together in this tall container. And I have to tell you, I tasted some of it, and it needed agave nectar, so my total of agave nectar is much higher than her total. I used about a half a cup of it to make it taste less avocado-y. So with a tablespoon of almond extract, it's really almondy tasting. That's the overwhelming flavor there. So what I'm going to do is cover this container and let it sit in the fridge. It should be setting during that time, and then I'll spread it onto the cooked crust. I'm going to save myself some valuable time with this recipe by killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I have to grate the carrots and also pulse the almonds, so I'm going to do it all together, and I said, well, why not just mix everything at once? This chunky white stuff is actually coconut oil. Mary recommends using sunflower oil or safflower oil, some kind of oil like that, but I decided since it is a coconut recipe, I'm going to use coconut oil. And why does it look like that instead of oil? Well, it was in the refrigerator. The other ingredients in here, the liquid is predominantly agave nectar, the lemon zest is over here, and there's a touch of almond extract, which is making the house, well at least the kitchen, smell really almondy. One of the differences in my recipe rather than Mary's recipe is that I'm choosing to use brown rice flour instead of spelt. I'm also using an egg instead of egg replacer because the people who are going to be eating this, including me, none of whom are vegan. I added the remaining dry ingredients to the wet ingredients, and that includes the brown rice flour, a little bit of arrowroot. I didn't put the whole amount of arrowroot in because I'm using an egg, so my guess is she used that to thicken it. And the coconut, an awful lot of coconut, almost 2 cups. So I had given it a bit of a mix after I added the flour so that I could fit everything into the food processor. And now I'm going to bring the speed up a little bit. So let's give it a look. Let's see how we look. My food processor is one of those ones where you have to take it off. Well, that's not bad at all. I'm going to mush it down with a silicone spatula and give it 1 or 2 more pulses. And then we'll be able to press it into the pan. Well, it's a lot of crust. It's a lot of crust. And it's kind of sliding down. I had pushed it up around the edges, and it slid down. I guess it's kind of wet. But I'm going to give it a shot and bake it for the nebulous time of until the coconut looks toasted. I have to tell you, this pie is going to be very colorful. It's very orange because of the carrots, and the topping is pretty green. So we'll stick it in the oven at 300 degrees and watch it very closely. Alright, here we are at 25 minutes of baking, and I have to tell you, it smells fantastic. And it looks nicely browned and toasted. It's got this little mountain in the middle, but I'm not going to worry about that because it's going to be covered by the green, sweet almondy topping.